Captain Marcus Chen had survived 3 interstellar wars, a diplomatic crisis with the Zephyrian Trade Federation, and a near-fatal encounter with space pirates in the Outer Rim. Nothing, however, had prepared him for the 7-year-old alien. Princess currently clinging to his leg in the middle of the Galactic Council's most secure detention facility. "Papa!" Princess Zareth squealed, her crystalline blue skin shimmering with excitement as her 4 eyes, 2 large primary ones and 2 smaller secondary ones, locked onto his face. Her delicate antennae twitched with joy as she wrapped her thin arms around his armored thigh. Marcus looked down at the small Veltaran child, his mind racing. 3 days ago, he'd been sent on a routine prisoner extraction mission to retrieve Dr. Sarah Winters, a human xenobiologist who'd been wrongfully imprisoned by the Veltaran Empire for allegedly stealing state secrets. The mission had gone sideways when the facility's security systems malfunctioned during a power surge, releasing not just Dr. Winters, but dozens of other prisoners, including this little princess who'd somehow gotten separated from her guards. "Kid, I think you got the wrong guy," Marcus said gently, trying to pry the surprisingly strong child from his leg. "I'm not your father." But Zareth only held on tighter, her secondary eyes never leaving his face, while her primary ones scanned the chaotic corridor around them. Emergency lights bathed everything in a pulsing red glow, and the sound of approaching security forces echoed from multiple directions. Dr. Winters, still clutching the datapad containing her research, looked at Marcus with raised eyebrows. "She's been calling for her papa since the power went out. The guards mentioned she was placed here for her own protection during some kind of political upheaval in the royal family." Marcus felt his heart clench. Political upheaval in royal families rarely ended well for the children involved. He'd seen enough war to know that kids were often the first casualties of adult conflicts, regardless of species. "Look, Princess," he said, kneeling down to meet her eyes. "I need to get you back to your real family, okay? But first, we need to get out of here." Zareth's antennae drooped slightly, but she nodded with the solemn understanding that seemed to come naturally to children who'd lived through chaos. "The bad men took Mama away," she whispered, in accented but clear standard. "They said Papa would come for me. You came." The approaching footsteps grew louder, and Marcus made a decision that would either save them all or get them killed. He scooped Zareth into his arms, her lightweight Veltaran physiology making her feel almost weightless, despite her being nearly as tall as a human 10-year-old. "Then I guess I'm your papa for now," he said, surprised by the conviction in his own voice. The next 6 hours were a blur of narrow escapes, jury-rigged electronics, and Zareth proving she was far more helpful than any 7-year-old had a right to be. She knew the facility's layout better than their stolen schematics, could interface directly with Veltaran technology through her bio-neural implants, and had an uncanny ability to sense approaching guards before Marcus's military-grade sensors could detect them. When they finally reached the extraction point, a maintenance shaft that led to the facility's outer hull, Marcus found himself genuinely impressed by the little alien's courage and resourcefulness. She hadn't complained once, had followed orders instantly, and had even managed to crack a few jokes that made Dr. Winters laugh despite their dire circumstances. "You're pretty amazing, you know that?" Marcus told her as he helped her through the narrow shaft. "Your real papa is going to be so proud when he sees you again." Zareth's secondary eyes fixed on him with startling intensity. "You are my real papa now," she said matter-of-factly. "The Veltaran bonding protocols activated when you chose to protect me instead of leaving me behind. It is irreversible." Marcus stared at her, Dr. Winters looking equally stunned behind them. "Bonding protocols? It's similar to adoption, but deeper," Dr. Winters explained, her xenobiology background suddenly very relevant. "Among the Veltarans, When an adult commits to protecting a child in a life-threatening situation, it creates a permanent familial bond recognized by their entire society. It's actually quite beautiful. Before Marcus could fully process this information, the outer airlock cycled open, revealing their rescue shuttle. And standing in the doorway, a tall, regal Veltaran, woman whose crystalline blue skin marked her as royalty. Her 4 eyes, so similar to Zarath's, were wide with a mixture of relief and something that looked distinctly like surprise. "Mama!" Zarath launched herself from Marcus's arms toward the woman, who caught her daughter in a fierce embrace. "My little starlight," the woman whispered, her antennae trembling with emotion. Then her gaze shifted to Marcus, and he felt the weight of alien royalty examining him with the intensity of a stellar scanner. "I am Queen Veltara of the 7th Dynasty," she said, her voice carrying the authority of someone accustomed to being obeyed across star systems. "And you, Captain Chen, appear to have become my daughter's bond father." Marcus swallowed hard, suddenly aware that his simple extraction mission had just become significantly more complicated. "Your Majesty, I can explain." But Queen Veltara held up a hand, and a slow smile spread across her features. "There is nothing to explain, Captain. My intelligence officers briefed me on your actions. You chose to risk your mission, your life, and your freedom to protect a child who meant nothing to you. That is not just admirable. Among my people, it makes you family." She stepped closer, and Marcus caught the scent of something like ozone and starflowers. "The question now, bond father to my daughter, is whether you're prepared for what comes next." Marcus looked down at Zarath, who was beaming up at him with all 4 eyes, her small hand reaching for his. In that moment, he realized that some bonds transcended species, politics, and the vast emptiness of space itself. "I guess we'll figure it out together," he said, taking her hand. Queen Veltara's smile widened, and for the first time since the mission began, Marcus felt like maybe, just maybe, everything was going to work out fine. After all, humans had always been exceptionally good at adapting to impossible circumstances, even when those circumstances involved accidentally adopting alien royalty.